Hello, friends. Welcome to lecture 4 of the lecture series on digital signal processing. In this lecture, we will understand about the frequency domain, the concept of frequency domain, and try to answer the question that why frequency domain is used. So, let's start. So understanding frequency domain. So, frequency domain analysis and Fourier transform are a cornerstones of signal processing and system analysis. So, these are the cornerstones of signal processing. Okay, uh, to be specific, let's say Fourier transform, or basically frequency domain analysis. Okay, so these ideas are also one of the conceptual pillars within electrical engineering, and among all of the mathematical tools utilized in electrical engineering, frequency domain analysis is arguably the most far-reaching. Okay, so in this lecture actually we will try to understand that why we use frequency domain analysis. We will try to answer this question first. Why we use frequency domain analysis? Isn't time domain not enough for us to make to solve all our problems? So to answer this, actually frequency domain is just a representation of a signal. Okay, so let's say if we have a signal, let's assume a signal xt. Okay, so this is a time domain signal. Okay, we can do all our analysis on time domain also, but not always the analysis in time domain is simple to do. Okay, in that way, or in those cases, frequency domain analysis comes very handy. So let's assume that we convert this to frequency domain using our tools like Fourier transform, which we will study as we go further. So let's say we convert this to frequency domain. Okay, so these two are just the representations. Okay, it's not like these two are different signals. Actually, these two conveys same information. Okay, the only difference is their representations are different. One is in time domain while other is in frequency domain. The only why we do it, just because some analysis are easier to do in time domain, some are in frequency domain. That's why we tend to use frequency domain analysis. Okay, so now let's go ahead and try to understand in a little bit more depth about let's say the frequency content of a signal. So let's assume that if we have a signal xt, what is it? I mean, how do I visualize the frequency content of this? Okay, or I want to get an intuition, or I want to visualize this. So I want to take a very easy example to understand. Let's take an example of audio signal. Okay, audio signal. So you most probably you have heard that in audio signal, or while talking of music in particular, we say that this is a high note and this is a low note. Okay, so actually these notes represents the frequency. So this high note actually represents a high frequency, and this represents actually low frequency. Okay, so the place, I mean, why we are actually using the frequency domain analysis, or what is the frequency content? The place to start to answer this question is consider the sinusoidal signals. Okay, so most probably we are all familiar with the sinusoidal signal. So actually it's represented as a sine 2 pi ft plus phi. I want to just tell you about all these numbers. This is the amplitude, f is the frequency of this sinusoidal signal, and phi is the phase, the initial phase. Okay, so just for the simplicity, or let's first understand or first correlate this xt to an audio signal. Okay, so when we are considering an audio signal as xt, xt indicates the change in air pressure on our ears as a function of time. So as you can see that this is a time domain signal, so this is a function of time. Okay, so if I draw this signal, it looks something like this, right? This is how a sinusoidal signal looks. This is the time, this x-axis is time and y-axis is amplitude. Okay, so an audio signal is just a change in air pressure on our ears as a function of time. So what is important here is the time variation of the air pressure from some ambient value rather than the ambient value of the pressure itself. So we are actually interested in the variation. We said that audio signal is change in air pressure on our ears. Okay, so here we are actually interested in how the pressure is changing. What is the variation? What type of variation is there? Okay, what type of variation is there? Not exactly, not the actual pressure value. Okay, this is because what type of variation, or how fast it is varying, how slow it is varying, how fast or how slow it is varying, that actually related with what is the frequency of the signal. If it is varying very fast, you have a high frequency signal. If it is varying slowly, it is a low frequency signal. Okay, so just for the simplicity, as we go ahead, for the time domain signal, let's assume a is equals to 1 and phi equals to 0. So I just want to take a simple example in the beginning. So xt is, let's assume, just take a simple sinusoid, sine 2 pi ft. Okay, so in signal processing terms, when it is just single sinusoidal signal, we call this as pure tone. Okay, so you might have heard how a pure tone sounds like. So it sounds like this. Okay, so the frequency of the sinusoid determines the pitch of the tone, while the amplitude determines the loudness. Okay, so I mean, where are we going by citing this example? So the concept actually I want to convey here is that in real world, the actual signals are not most of the actual signals are not pure tone, or let's think it in some other way. Okay, let's go by this, that this is a single tone. Let's combine two tones. Okay, sine 2 pi f1t plus sine 2 pi f2t. Okay, so here we have combined or added two tones of frequency f1 and f2. So if let's put some numbers, let's take f1 equals to 1 hertz and f2 equals to, let's say, 2 hertz. Okay, so xt will be sine 2 pi t plus sine 4 pi t. Okay, let's again, try to draw these two signals. So at sine 2 pi t, we can draw it like this. Okay, as its frequency is 1 hertz, so its time period is 1 second. So this is 1 second mark, this is time, this is it completes the second period here, this is 2 second mark. Okay, and if we plot on the same axis a 2 hertz signal, okay, so it should complete its first period within 0.5 seconds because its frequency is 2 hertz. So 0.5 is here, so it will look something like this. So it will start from 0, then second period here, so it will complete 2 periods in 1 second. Okay, like, and so on. Okay, and how will xt look? Xt is just the summation of this, so I'll not draw this, but you can draw for your understanding how will xt looks. It will be something like this. I mean, you can draw it, it's not a very tough task. Okay, so the point that I am trying to convey here is that you have heard that how a single tone sounds, how addition of two single tone sounds. Okay, so what if we keep adding the tones, something like xt equals to summation over k 1 to, let's say, some value n, its amplitude is ak sine 2 pi f k t, and let's assume some phase also. Okay, so this is just a generalization that I have done. So here we have added some n number of sinusoidal signals. Fine, this n can be infinity also. So one example that I can give, that this is a square wave. Okay, if we write its Fourier series, this square wave is a combination of infinite number of sinusoidal signals. Okay, so the point here is that the voice, let's say voice signal means what we speak, or music, these all sounds are built up of n number of, or I'll not say n is finite, many number of tones. And likewise, all time domain signals can be constructed by combining sinusoids. So as we have as I told earlier, that this square wave is multiple number of sinusoidal signals. So if we combine multiple number of sinusoidal signals, we can actually construct this square wave. Okay, similarly, starting with a general time domain signal, one can break this signal down into constituent sinusoids. Okay, so let's say there is some music signal, or there is some signal, then we can actually break that one signal. Let's assume this is yt. We can actually break this one signal into multiple number of sinusoidal signal, as we have told here. Okay, so instead of yt, let's assume that this music signal is actually xt, and we can actually break this in multiple number of sinusoidal signal or pure tones. Okay, so the point here is that every signal is made up of multiple number of sinusoidal signals. Okay. Oops. Just want to highlight this point. Fine. And how to do this? And the consequences of such construction or decomposition is the subject of how to do this. Basically, is the subject of frequency domain analysis. And Fourier transform. Okay. Okay, to understand it more better, that why frequency domain, or why we are using actually the frequency domain, I want to cite one more example. Let's say the radio communication, or the radio transmission, or let's say the wireless communication. Okay, so as already told that using frequency domain, sometimes the understanding of the system becomes very simple, which is a little bit tough if we always follow the time domain. So let's assume that there is a transmitter at one end. It is transmitting some signal. Okay, and there is, let's say, multiple number of receivers. Okay, and let's assume that receiver 1 wants to listen whatever is coming, or wants to see. Let's say these are two TVs, and TV number 1 wants to watch channel 1, TV number 2 wants to watch channel 2. Okay, then how it is always that whenever we switch on the TV and tune to that particular channel, this TV always watches channel 1, this TV always watches channel 2. I mean, why there is, it's not like that channel 2 is not interfering with channel 1, or channel 1 is not interfering with channel 2. You have not observed this, right? It's not the case. Okay, so yeah, so to understand this is actually an interesting thing, that if you look in time domain, this is some signal x1t, let's say x2t or x3t, but let's I want to just put these numbers here, x1t, x2t, or it could be a combination of both of them, or it could be same signal also. Yeah, so this is also possible, that that this is also xt and this is also xt. I mean both TVs are getting xt, but they are able to see different channels. Okay, how it is so? So let's say if we break it in frequency domain as so this signal in this is actually time domain representation. Okay, but if we look in frequency domain, this signal could be a composition of multiple frequencies. Let's say xf1 plus xf2 plus xf3 and so on. Okay, and usually in wireless communication, the channels are transmitted over the frequencies. I mean, channel means the frequency. So this TV number 1 is getting f1 or the signal over f1. TV number 2 is getting signal over f2. Okay, f1 and f2, and that's how the TVs are able to distinguish the different frequencies, or basically the different channels. So this is actually explains one of the advantage of frequency domain analysis. Okay, by using two different frequencies, this TV can actually distinguish between their respective information, what information they want to receive.